Okay, we have come here to Vicksburg Military National Park. And of course things are closed, but we were able to secure a map. And now we're gonna go see what's here.
That's a cherry bark oak tree, and I guarantee you that had to have been alive during the Battle of Vicksburg. That thing is huge.
Okay, we are hiking around Vicksburg National Military Park. And right now we're going to just try to go up this one hill to see what the sign says up above us. And here we go.
I know what the one says on the left.
Almost fell down this hill, which you've got to think, all the military men trying to get up here. Holy smokes.
U.S. 12th Battery, Wisconsin Light Artillery, 7th Division.
They're right here.
There's a Wisconsin monument over here to the left.
So as Todd was just saying, this right here, this hole in the ground, is where they would put the artillery, and then they would shoot it off in the opposite direction. Be the placement, just like that. And this was the Union Trench along this border, going down all along through here. Okay, this is a tribute to Michigan and those that fought from Michigan in the Civil War. There's the 12-pounders, and those are the 3-inch rifles.
Okay, this is a 3-inch rifle. It was called a 3-inch rifle because it's 3 inches in diameter, and it's rifled, which means it has the ridges. So when the shell came out, it was spinning, and it was much more accurate than a regular 12-pounder over there that just shot a ball. This is the Shirley House, the last surviving structure from the time of Vicksburg siege. One could say that Illinois built their monument in style. Inside the monument, you see a list of all the different commanders from all the different units from Illinois, along with, there's a couple of names that might be familiar to you. Abraham Lincoln and Ulysses S. Grant. As you can tell, there's quite the echo in here. It is a domed roof with an opening in the middle, big enough that it'll even allow a pigeon to come in and roost and visit us. One of the other unique things they have is that if you come up here, it talks about Illinois, but we don't have to worry about that as much as they have a list of all the different units and names of all the different infantry, artillery, and all the different names of the soldiers. And it covers all the walls. Oh. And there's my darling wife.
This is where the affair of the crater took place on June 25th to June 26th. They had dug a trench or a tunnel in hopes of getting through, and they then detonated and blew up a big group of the Confederates and then rushed in only to be laid down themselves. This is where the Confederates were, up here. They had the high ground, of course, because they were protecting Vicksburg. And here is where they built the tunnel to try to attack the Confederates.
Where the Confederate lines were definitely on the high ground, and if you scan the horizon down there, you can see all those emplacements of cannon that we came by on the way around the corner. And over there is the Shirley House, the last surviving piece of architecture. That Illinois monument is really a unique one. The other thing is, it looks like it's on its last leg and it's falling apart, but that's actually the color of the marble, and it is just one gorgeous piece of architecture.
And here's Wisconsin's monument. And here's our nature for today.
Mr. Snapping Turtle.
Hi, guy.
I think we need to take him and put him, he wants to be in the sun. So let's put him up on the hill in the sun instead of in the middle of the road. I have such a great track record with turtles. When we come back past later, I fully suspect him to be laying as flat as a pancake in the middle of that road.
Because that's always what happens.
That's what happens.
Now you can see him. He's kind of out of the shell.
Little bit.
Todd put him in the grass.
Let's see if he goes for a walk. No, he's content just to soak up the sun right now, I think.
To me, these are extremely interesting. I kept seeing these on the road, and I kept thinking that somebody just took and put them in the ground, that they were plastic.
You thought they were like flamingos.
I know, but they aren't. They are real. Huh. And we continue on our hike.
16 miles all the way around. Whew. Well, as we hiked along the road, you can see we kind of got to an issue here where all of a sudden we see a do not enter sign. But I have a feeling that's due to wheeled traffic, so we're going to see if we can do a little exploring on our own. How do you like that monument? People taking refuge behind Union lines would be set free. Across the South, black freedom seekers flocked to the Federals and worked as laborers, cooks, and teamsters. But many wanted to fight in battle, and fight they did. In 1862 and 63, forward-thinking Union commanders began forming units, like the 1st and 3rd Mississippi Regiments, African descent. But many Northerners were skeptical about the decision to accept blacks into the military service. The tide of public opinion quickly turned after historic action by black troops in 1863 at Port Hudson and Milliken's Bend along the Mississippi. Not 100% sure what the reasoning is, except that I think that's a hint. And there's no one around to ask, but they definitely say the area is closed. So parts of our little tour are going to be cut short.
Here's more of those red flowers.
In the woods.
Just up in the woods. Interesting.
Here's an example of our social distancing trail today. Since they closed it off to vehicles, my darling bride and I are the only two walking this road. Nobody around, and even in the parts that are open, very few people here today, as you can tell as we videoed. But it's a gorgeous day, beautiful sunny, and well worth the effort.
Okay, the red is where the Confederates were. And if we come up here, you'll see that they definitely owned the high ground.
You can see as close as the Union lines got, which were right at the base of these.
It's the closest as they got.
At a large cost. The monument for the state of Missouri, well located right along the fortifications of the Confederate redans that kept the Union soldiers at bay and led to the siege of Vicksburg. Quite appropriate location. Here's the Arkansas monument, and got a pretty nice sentiment right there. I'll let you read it yourself.
Okay, so we've been walking along the Confederate lines, and as you look, they just have the high ground. And the closest that the Union got was right here on May 22nd, 1863. Right below.
Right below the Confederate lines, just like they did on Graveyard Road. Louisiana's monument, placed on the Confederate lines. As you could tell, definitely on the high ground. Quite lovely. This is the Mississippi Memorial. It was built in 1909. It was one of the first Southern memorials built because the South was having a tough time getting funds to be able to build their monuments. Once Vicksburg opened it up to anybody that wanted to, the northern states flocked to build all their monuments, and the southern states didn't have the cash.
I gotta sneak down, Todd said, because we're entering into the Confederate lines. They'll never see us coming.
That sounds like gunfire. There's the Texas Memorial, currently under construction. I believe being shut down for COVID allows them to get a lot of work done.
Here's Alabama.
Included a woman in their statue, in their memorial. And now we have Kentucky's. It's hard to tell, but they did list their casualties and a little history. Here's the Georgia Monument. Very simple, one of the smallest ones. Also, one of the plainest sentiments. Entering the Union lines. As you can tell, I think my darling bride is happy to be home. Kentucky decided that they would put their monument right in the middle of the battlefield, showing their leaders that served during the battle. Kentucky was in a very unique situation. Kentucky had regiments, you could say, on the north, and they had infantry on the south. So, unlike every other state, they truly were a house divided. Abraham Lincoln and Jefferson Davis. What a better place to have them than in a battle fought at their direction. There's the Iowa Memorial, and this is definitely a battle of the Midwest. Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan. And then you've got on the other side, Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, among others. I'm not sure if this is a Confederate train or a Union train, honey. Bringing supplies. I don't see any cannon on there though.
We are now just getting back from almost 16 miles of walking. Whew.
Second time through the arch.
Yes, because we have to find the truck.
A deer decided to come our way. I guess she wants to say hi. Or bye.
So we're on our way back to the campground, and we have to go over the Mississippi River.
Honey loves bridges.
Yeah, not so much. But the one next to us is kind of cool looking. I think it's the train bridge. And that, my friends, is field after field of cotton.
Ready to be picked.
We believe this is a cotton gin or factory of some sort because there's the raw cotton.
We ain't it.
This is already picked cotton. This is the drive up to Lakeport Plantation, built in 1831. You have to wonder, is this how they planted the cotton back in the day when it was actually used and operational? There's the plantation home. That have never seen cotton on the plant, here is an up-close vision of what it looks like. It looks like a bunch of cotton balls. Oh. It's not open. We don't know if it's because of COVID or we're just too late. The sign there says the Lakeport Plantation House was constructed circa 1859 for Lycurgus and Lydia Taylor Johnson. The skilled craftsmanship and lasting character are testaments to those who built the house. It is preserved in remembrance of all who lived and worked on the plantation.
Tall doors and windows, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.